Hi guys, I'm Rhonda with The Cottage, and we're here today with Kori Shurley. Kori Shurley is an interior designer in the Shreveport-Bossier area, and she works with us from time to time on various projects. And today we're going to talk a little bit about a home that Kori designed in the Pierrewood area of Shreveport. So I wanted to kick off this with a kind of a question to Kori about how you actually begin the design process when you start with a client, particularly the Pierrewood home.
The Pierrewood home, that homeowner had very specific ideas of how she wanted her house to look. She had a lot of images, inspiration images from Pinterest and magazines. So we really just sat down and looked over everything that she loved. We talked about things she loved, things she didn't love. We talked about the family, how they use their home, do they entertain a lot. We just asked a lot of questions about how they use their home. And also this particular project had an architect that was very involved in the project, and he had specific ideas and designs that he wanted to implement. So it was very much a team project between the architect, the builder, and the homeowners to work together to get them the look that they were after.
And were you and your client looking at a particular style or a look that you wanted as the end result?
Yes, they very much wanted an updated traditional look. If you look at the exterior of the home, it is a very traditional home. Some would say with influences from Haystown, a very well-known Louisiana architect. So it was a very traditional home, but they are a young family with young children. So if you look at Haystown works, his interiors are always a little darker, heavy wood, brick, beam work. We lightened it up completely from that. We wanted the interior of their home to reflect their very active, healthy lifestyle by simple, light, airy finishes.
Okay. And did you have anything in particular that served as a source of inspiration or something that you utilized as kind of your checkpoint of starting the project?
With this project, again, the homeowner had really specific ideas of how she wanted the house to look. Sometimes it was an inspiration photo that she was like, this is exactly what I want the study to look like, but tweak it to fit our needs. So a lot of it were just kind of a montage of inspiration photos that she had collected from Pinterest, magazines. Also, they travel a lot, so hotels, lodges, places they had been across the country, kind of served as a jumping point. Always going back to trying to keep it not super modern, but also not super traditional.
And it's my understanding that you guys found or came across some doors down maybe in South Louisiana that maybe served as like a point of inspiration for you guys.
Yes, thank you. Kind of going back to, it was a traditional home, so we did try to use some traditional elements. We found, the homeowner found some herself. I think we found some together. We found some antique doors really everywhere from New Orleans to some came from Texas. And we did incorporate those in several rooms of the house. The wine room, there's a closet we used some antique doors in, and then I believe the pantry also had an antique door. So one of the antique doors had a design in it on the door itself that we used, and we copied that design on the door in some of the cabinetry in the kitchen also, which was really great. The cabinetry came from the kitchen of that cottage and was by Woodmode, and we had the idea, we had this really kind of unique design on this antique door that we were using in the pantry, and we asked Woodmode, hey, would you consider replicating this mullion design on some of the cabinetry in the kitchen? And they were like, absolutely. So we were able to use that mullion pattern from the antique door on the refrigerator panel, and then also the end panels of the larger of the two items.
Okay, great. I found that super interesting, you know, as a kickoff for the design inspiration on the cabinetry too. What would you say is the advantage a person gains from working with a designer?
I think there's kind of a misrepresentation of designers. I think everybody just naturally assumes, oh, an interior designer. Well, I don't have that kind of budget, because they, they're going to work on projects with really large budgets. But one thing that we do that a lot of people don't realize is we pay attention to that budget, because our job, you've hired us to help you complete your house and get you in your home and for it to reflect your vision and your taste. But also we're handed a budget at the beginning of the project, and some of them are dream budgets and we couldn't possibly spend all the money, but more often than not, there is a budget. Everybody has a budget. And if I go over that budget, if I spend twice as much as you have told me you have on your lighting, then that's my fault. So it's my job to stay on budget, and I think a lot of times homeowners don't hire designers, they don't have anybody watching that bottom line. It's really easy to start spending really quickly, but we know that, so we pay close attention to it. I think that's the biggest advantage of having a designer. And then also I think the second biggest advantage that I see with every single one of my projects is it's really easy in our Pinterest, Instagram world to see every picture of every beautiful thing and want every single thing in your house. That's never gonna work well.
And it's overwhelming.
It's overwhelming,
right.
And it's my job. I think one of the things I say almost all the time is edit, edit, edit. When in doubt, edit. Streamline it in. Don't try to do all the things in all the rooms. I take a step back and look at the bigger picture. For example, when we're selecting paint colors, when we finally get all of the paint colors for every room, I have a board, every paint color is on a board, and we lean it up against the wall and we stand back and we stare at it. And if something sticks out like a sore thumb, then that needs to go. So we really focus on giving your home a cohesive look and making sure it all works together and nothing is so overwhelmingly out of place that it would be kind of jarring to the eye.
Okay.
So.
And you've pulled a few of the samples of the actual products that you used, like say for example in the kitchen. Could you kind of take us through those and,
of course,
and describe that integration?
So for this home in Pierrewood, we wanted a light kitchen. The homeowners were coming from a kitchen that was beautiful, but the cabinets were a dark cherry stain. So we kind of flipped it and we did mostly an all white kitchen. So we used Woodmode's Vintage Bright White. So it's not just a solid white. It actually has a little bit of a wash over it, kind of an antiquing wash, really light, just to kind of soften the edges a little bit. We did pick up a gray for the island. Gray is really popular right now, so we did a gray island. All the finishes from Woodmode, they come from the Woodmode factory finish. They're kind of like when you buy a car, your car's painted at the factory in a controlled environment.
Right.
The finishes are baked on, so you know you have the best of finishing. They're super smooth, they're gonna stand the test of time, and they all have lifetime warranties. So that is something that's very helpful, very durable, and a great product for our clients for the future. So in the particular Pierrewood project, a lot of times we have a lot of fun with backsplash tile, and creating something really interesting. In this project, we happen to have brick walls in the kitchen, so we actually did not use any tile in the kitchen on the backsplash, which doesn't happen often, but we did use the white cabinetry and then the gray island in the kitchen. One thing that was really fun that we did in the butler's pantry, because we didn't use any tile in the kitchen, we wanted to really do something, a showstopper in the butler's pantry. So we chose this Calicotta gold and brass accented tile from New Ravenna. For the butler's pantry, there is a wall with no cabinetry, and it's just pretty much
stunning,
countertop to ceiling, this tile with the brass accents from New Ravenna, and that was a lot of fun to do. And then we incorporated some black brass shelving with glass shelves, and then we also did this Baltic Sea cabinetry in the butler's pantry that complemented really nicely with the tile. And we had, again, Woodmode. They'll pretty much do anything you ask them to do. We asked Woodmode if they would take their vintage Baltic Sea, which is the stark gray that we used in the butler's pantry. We asked them if they would add a little gold highlight to the cabinetry itself, just a thin little gold line to pick up the brass and the backsplash tile in our shelving, and they said, of course. And we went through 3 or 4 different versions. They kept sending us samples till we got it right, the right amount of gold, the right door style. So that was, again, something that was really fun that Woodmode and the designers at the Cottage said, absolutely, we'll make it happen. So it was a lot of fun. It's a very, very stunning room.
Great. So Kori, you had mentioned collaborating with some of our designers when you were working on this project for the Pierrewood home. Can you talk a little bit about how that works when you have yourself as a designer working with another designer?
Yeah,
how does that collaboration work?
It's a lifesaver for me, and I know for other designers in Shreveport. When we're working on the entire home, we're selecting everything from paint colors to plumbing fixtures to furniture and drapery. And if we're doing a new home, that's a lot of things. It's a lot of things to juggle and keep on track and make sure you have everything in line. So when we're working with the designers from the Cottage for the areas that they're working on, be it the cabinetry in the whole house or the cabinetry in just the kitchen or the master bath and the tile that we're selecting, they are so easy to work with. They're so eager to help. Both of the designers here at the Cottage are actually interior designers, so they both went to school and have interior design degrees. So not only are they just great to work with, they have a really extensive background in design. They understand the technical side of it. The drawings they generate for myself and my clients are unlike any other drawings that we get from any other cabinet shop. They're easy to understand, they're easy to read. The designers here are really quick to get things done, quick to respond. I know when I'm working with them, they are gonna take so much stuff off of my plate. They are gonna take care of everything they're responsible for, and it makes my job so much easier. They're fun to work with, they're collaborative, they always have ideas, but they're always gonna, refer to the designer they're working with if they are working with a designer. But they're very creative, and they always bring some great ideas to the table and point out things that I might not think of because I'm not designing kitchens every day.
Right.
They're designing kitchens every day.
Right.
So they're gonna think of some things and catch some things that I don't. So they make my job so much easier when I'm working with a designer from the Cottage.
Do you find it advantageous? I know we here at the Cottage are super excited to offer a wide array of home products, including appliances, cabinetry, tile, you name it. Do you find that as an advantage to you as a designer?
Yes, it makes our jobs easier if we know we can come here and we can have access to all of these products that we would otherwise have to go to Dallas to purchase.
Right.
That makes it such a lifesaver. When we can come here and pick out our tile and while we're here, let's select our appliances and then let's work on our cabinetry and then let's do doors and windows. It just makes our job easier. We're not running all over town and running to Dallas when we can just come here, have access to all the amazing products and the staff behind it that they're just so service oriented and people oriented. They make everything so much easier.
Great, that's so great to hear. We want to make sure that y'all are happy and that you enjoy working here, because that's kind of our end goal, is to make sure that every experience here is not only productive but fun as well. And
absolutely
try and reduce the stress.
Yes, that's what it's all about.
Thank you, Kori. We appreciate you.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
So that concludes our Explore the Project for today with Kori Shurley, talking about the Pierrewood home that she designed. Join us next time for our next installment.